Hey everybody, it's your host RJ and welcome to Hash It Out. Two Colorado-based cannabis companies have recently partnered with the University of Colorado Boulder to launch a mobile pharmacology laboratory with a team dedicated to cannabis research. It's not a caravan, it's a Canna-van. In this episode, I'll be talking to Joe Hodas about the two-year observational research study, its goals, and potential implementation in other U.S. states. Without further ado, let's hash it out. My guest today is the Chief Marketing Officer at the cannabis edible company Wana Brands. Welcome to the show, Joe Hodas. How's it going, man?
Good, RJ. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Man, thanks for being here. I'm stoked to ask you about all the work you've got going on with the Canna-van, heading out there collecting data samples, man. I'm stoked to ask you about all of that. But first and foremost, let me ask you, upon researching and preparing for the interview today, I just did a quick glance of your socials and I saw on Twitter that your Twitter bio says that you're a former D&D player. So I just have to ask you, has the pandemic offered you any time to maybe get back into the game at all?
No, I haven't rekindled my love for it, but man, my kids love to give me shit for it all the time. I, I did really play though when I was young. I mean, I got into it for a
Yeah,
little while. Yeah, I know it's
by
kind of had
by
a resurgence lately. So
it has, yeah. That's why I brought it up to see if maybe you had gotten back into that resurgence. By your kids saying they give you shit about it, is this like the typical like, oh, that's like a corny thing,
oh yeah,
corny?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
got you.
for sure.
Okay,
Although they
got
they give
you.
me shit about most things I do, so it's right in line with that.
I mean, what are kids for,
Right, they got
right?
they got to have someone to keep me in check. So
Right. And hey, I would be remiss if I didn't mention, I know that Wana Brands is local to the Boulder area. You're living in Colorado yourself. And, with the recent news of the senseless violence that happened
yeah,
just last week or just this
this
week,
week,
rather,
yeah,
it all blends together nowadays. Yeah, I just want to send my thoughts to you and to those around you, and I hope and pray that you are safe and that your loved ones are safe, and that we can find even but a small sliver of solace in such a horrendous situation, man.
no, we appreciate that. Boulder is a small community. One has been there for 10 years, but many of our employees have lived there their whole lives. Many of them shopped at that grocery store. That was part of their being. I saw someone who posted something about how that grocery store represented community to them, and we had some employees who definitely took it, really, really hard and are still struggling with the emotions of it. And I don't know what to say. It's a I saw it billed as an epidemic a few times. The gun violence issue that we have, and nowhere is that more starkly clear than in Colorado, where we seem to have an inordinate amount of mass shootings, and I don't know why that is, and it doesn't make sense to me, and there probably is no way to make sense of it. So
Yeah, it never gets easier, does it? Even in
no,
the unfortunate frequency at which they happen or seem to happen in this nation, it never becomes an easier conversation.
no,
Um,
no,
and
and God forbid it ever
yeah,
does become an easy conversation, right? I mean, it
oh
shouldn't be.
yeah, absolutely. And the how else do we stop from having these sorts of conversations if not for implementing some sort of sensible change? And so, once we see something like that, we're going to be stuck in these sorts of conversations of just like talking, finding ourselves at a loss for words
Yeah,
at what's going on. So,
yeah.
again, man, I just wish you and your team all the best out there.
Thank
And
you. We
yeah,
appreciate
I'm
that.
thinking about y'all and hoping for your continued safety out there, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so moving right along into some more recent news, some lighter recent news, thank God. Um, Wana Brands specifically has been in the news lately, and that's particularly why I wanted to have you on today to hash out this topic.
Yeah.
Because earlier this month, Wana Brands announced, along with Native Roots Cannabis Company, your support for a 2-year cannabis research project, which is being put on by let me make sure I get this right, the Center for Health and Neuroscience, Genes and Environment at the University of Colorado Boulder.
I'm glad you said it
Whew,
because I wouldn't have been able to say that. But
man, universities love their long names, don't they?
yeah,
They really do.
academics.
So, yeah. So tell me more about this 2-year project and the role that Wana specifically is playing in it.
Yeah, well, so I mean, starting at the very beginning, I can tell you that what is special and unique about this project is that there has not been a lot of university level, research institution level research around cannabis. We all know that, right? And that there's been a real dearth of that kind of research. So the fact that we're able to find a public-private partnership like this, bring together Native Roots, Wana, and University of Colorado to do this research is, in my mind, groundbreaking. And I mean that not from a brand perspective for Wana, but as a person who's been in this industry for about 10 years now and has seen the development and has known all along the need for research. I'm so excited and proud that we, as Wana, of course, can participate, but so excited that this is actually happening. In terms of the logistics of it, the way this is netting out is that Wana and Native Roots are providing product, and it's discounted, so we're not just giving it free. And we actually there are rules and regs around our inability to do so.
I'm sure.
So
Yeah.
the university has to be very removed from the transactional side of this. But we are agreeing to provide, first of all, to have the specific products that they are looking to utilize in the study. So to have those on hand at a specific store so that these participants in the study can access those products, and then we can ensure that the study is being done consistently with the same products over and over. Because of course, when data has been developed or has been pursued in the past, that's always an issue, is the lack of consistency across products, across states, across even similar cultivation. So it's
Right.
important to have that consistency. We're providing the product, but then the really unique thing and what enabled this to happen is that the University of Colorado actually has a mobile van. And that means that they're not actually doing the cannabis aspect of the research on site. They're gathering the data, the blood work, and all that good stuff in the mobile van at the consumer's home. So they're
Mhm.
able to really get much deeper into the research than if they were to do it at, let's say, the CU facility, where they'd be very limited in terms of what they were able to track, as well as, of course, the safety of the consumer, because there are situations where they're going to require or request that the consumer consume just prior to the information being taken. So they wouldn't be able to consume on site at CU. They wouldn't be. You wouldn't want them to consume and then drive to CU. This enables
Right.
a much more robust approach to the data.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the most exciting parts that I had read when I was looking into this was this mobile pharmacology laboratory
Yeah.
that was developed by the university. It has been affectionately dubbed the Canna-van for those out there who are interested. Now, what I don't know how much you might know about this, but what goes into like making sure that you have a fully functional laboratory on wheels? Like that must have been such an undertaking um
That's a great
to
question, and I
put
wish I could
together.
tell you all the detail that went into it. In my mind, I picture it like the Scooby-Doo van, and they
Yeah.
open the side, and there's all these computers, and there's people in there working. I don't
Sure.
know what it took to get there, but of course, there are some core things. So you need to be able to pull blood, right, and do blood work, right? So that's a certain set of equipment,
Uh-huh.
and you need to be able to record the data. So that's a separate set of equipment. So they built it around, I think, what they were looking to do, which was the observational outcomes of the cannabis consumption. And then they were able to, I think, retrofit this van to be able to hold that equipment. And I'm really excited to see it in action. I've not been able to, but I'd like to take a look at it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm stoked. And this is so has this study I mentioned that this is a 2-year study. Has it begun already? Is it scheduled to begin soon?
I believe that it either began like this week or maybe it's like April 1, but we're right on the cusp of starting it.
Okay, got it, got it. And where is the study starting? Is it starting like in the local Colorado Boulder area?
Yep, that's the entirety of it currently. But now I do think over the 2-year period they will have. I think they were projecting over 1,000 participants.
Wow.
So it is a good sample set. even though it's hyper local, they will have a lot of
Right.
people coming through the project.
Yeah. And what are the, I guess, what are, the broad and maybe specific hopes or goals over this 2-year study?
That's kind of what makes it very interesting, both for us as cannabis companies, but also for the research in general.
Sure.
It is purely observational. So they're not going into it with a hypothesis. They're not going into it looking for a specific conclusion. They're going into it and saying, we're going to have consistency of product, consistency of usage, and we're going to just track short-term and long-term behavioral outcomes. So we don't know exactly what's going to come out of it, right? It's going to be purely observational as they go through all of the data. And why I say that's interesting for us as brands is that we were asked a question in regards to, well, what if the outcomes aren't positive, right? And I think both, and I speak for for Native Roots a little bit when I say this, but mostly for Wana, I think we all feel like it's the data that's important. We know that there may be some outcomes that aren't necessarily what we'd want to see, but that's also information. It's not good or bad. It's data, and we can then respond and react accordingly.
Totally. Yeah. I that's a great way to look at it and to approach it in just a purely observational way. And you say we're just simply trying to aggregate the data, because even in this day and age, even in 2021, with the waves of legalization and the increased awareness of cannabis and its benefits, both medically and recreationally, there still is that huge lack of data, right? That huge lack of clinical research data that we can draw upon. Um,
Which I'm sorry to interrupt you, which kind of allows
yeah, please.
those who are prohibitionists to be able to say, well, there's no data, there's no research. It could do,
Right.
any of these, number of horrible, terrible, damaging things to people who use cannabis. And because we can't refute that with specific data from a research institute like CU currently, it does leave that sort of the vacuum of information for people to be able to fill in with whatever narrative they want. So
Hmm.
I do believe that the upside of the data will be we will have data to be able to say, well, no, we did a study, and actually that's not true at all. We all know it, I think, intrinsically, and we feel those who are part of the industry or who are cannabis consumers understand intrinsically the benefits and also that we don't give credence to the ridiculous, reefer madness type philosophy out there. But
Sure.
now we'll have data to back that up.
Sure, sure. And you mentioned specifically that Wana Brands, the role that you're playing in this study is sort of providing the consistency in product, which again is another aspect that is so, in cannabis particular, so difficult to wrangle, just because of the, you know, differences in regulation when it comes to state by state, and differences, inconsistencies with just how different companies choose to operate. So, is this something that you see could potentially expand into other states in which Wana is operating? Because Wana's in a handful of states: California, Colorado, and even some more on the
More
eastern half
more
of
than two
the
handfuls,
Mississippi.
actually.
Yeah, more than
We're
two handfuls. Yeah,
we're in
yeah.
11 states plus Canada.
Yeah, that's an armful right there. That's a bushel right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what's the hope? Are we I know that we're still very much in the nascent stages of this trial. We
Yeah.
still have a long 2 years to go. Like you said, there is no clear sort of goal. It's purely aspiration or observational. But depending on how it goes, do you see this as potentially something that can expand into other states?
I think so, and I say I think so because this is University of Colorado, right? And University of Colorado is endemic to Colorado, obviously.
Of course.
But I believe that what this is going to do, it'll set the stage for other large research universities like CU to have interest in it and to realize, okay, we can figure out a way to do this, right? So it opens that door for other forward-thinking research institutes, particularly in adult use legal markets, to consider research. So I do think it will lead to additional projects. Will it be WANA included in those? I don't know. I can tell you that we would like to, of course, and I think one of the benefits, if I can plug us for a second, one of the benefits of using WANA as product is we do have that consistency from state to state. We have very specific SOPs, very specific custom terpene blends that create the same effect, whether you're having a Wana product here or in a different state. The only variance would be different dosages per different state.
Got it. Got it. And speaking of Wana specifically, to plug Wana even a little bit more, in addition to this 2-year study, what are you looking forward to at Wana Brands for the rest of the year and the coming the near future, rather?
Oh man, there's so much that we're excited about. There's the immediate thing. So we're continuing to expand into new states.
Yes.
We're seeing great success in Canada. We're the number one edible in that country by a long shot. We're the number one edible in North America, which affords us opportunities to then go into newer states that we're not in and continue to expand our footprint. So new states, we're launching new SKUs. We are doing that in Colorado initially, and then we're also going to be taking our Quick product, which was a product we launched about a year ago and piloted in Colorado. We're going to be taking that into a number of new markets for us as well. And that product has been a game changer for us. I mean, people love that product. Within the first couple of months, it was in the top 3 SKUs of all products in Colorado. So we know that it's
Whoa.
going to do great work in other markets as well. And then innovation, we just have, and this is the part I can't talk a whole lot about, but we have a couple of new products coming out that I don't think the industry has really seen before, and I'm really excited about where those have the potential to go. And so I think that's going to keep us pretty busy through the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Markets, new products, and new innovation.
Ooh, that was a good teaser. Maybe when you have a little more to say about it, I would love to invite you back on, and
Oh yeah,
we could
actually,
you could spill the beans on it.
I'll do you one better. We'll get Mike Hennessy, our VP of Innovation, on to talk about what we're doing with these products because that guy, I
Love
always
it.
like to say, whenever I talk to Mike, I always feel a little bit smarter and a little bit dumber after I talk to him because I realize
Tho-
all the things I don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are the best kinds of people to talk to, right?
Oh
Like
yeah,
the people that you're always learning from something, the people that
yeah,
remind me that maybe I don't have it all figured out are the people that I'm always the most grateful for.
yes,
Yeah, to have those
agreed.
conversations with. That's also exciting, man. Yeah, like I said, I would love to have you or him both. We could do a tandem sort of
Oh, that'd be
thing. Like,
fun.
yeah, if you ever have anything else that you would like to say about it up and leading up to that launch, would love to have you on.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, no problem. And for our viewers and our listeners out there, where can they keep up to date with everything going on at Wana Brands out in the wide world of the internet?
Well, obviously, best place is wanabrands.com, and we actually have a newsletter. And one of the things that when I came on board a year ago as CMO, I said we got to communicate more with our customers. So we're putting out pretty much weekly, every other week, communications to everyone that signs up with whether it's new product launches or information about innovation. So that's a good place. All of our social channels, which are generally at Wana Brands, we actually do a lot of education through those social channels. And those are probably the best places to start.
Right on. Well, Joe, thank you so much again. I really appreciate the time. Please, like I said, continue to be well and stay safe
Thank
out
you.
there. I wish you and your team all the best. And I will see you on a D&D Reddit thread sometime, maybe.
All right,
Subreddit some more.
RJ, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, man. No worries. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
My thanks again to Joe Hodas for joining me. If you are a member of the cannabis community and have a story you want to share with us, we would love to hear from you. You can reach the show at HashItOut@TRICHOMES.com. You can help others find the show by taking a moment to subscribe to the podcast and write a review. You can also join the discussion with industry insiders and get your voice heard by joining the community at TRICHOMES.com and following us on all social media. Hash It Out is produced by David Fortin and presented by TRICHOMES.com. I'm your host, RJ Balde, and I'll catch you next time.